there's just a lot in front of us as voters. And so we like to not only help kind of, point people in the direction of what they might want to look at when they're making the decisions, but also guides that are really helpful in making sure and supporting your choices in who you want to be representing you in our government. So,
like this one.
Like that one. So this is the Girl I Guess Progressive Voter Guide is out.
Kira, you got to do the thing when you say that.
The girl I guess, right? So, and this is a go-to voting guide. I've definitely checked back on her choices for voting against like the candidates that I really know, and she has always aligned with the people that I'm fully aware of and feel confident inside of voting for. So in my experience of utilizing the Girl I Guess Voters Guide, I have found that I align pretty solidly with this woman. Her name is Stephanie Sroka. This is a 49 Scora. My bad. I do think that I have some kind of level of dyslexia, Ed. The more I do this show, the more I realize that I mix up letters all of the time. It's a 49-page guide. So, it is extensive. If you really want to get grounded in, in a lot of, to all of the candidates, you want to check this out. It's written using a publicly available information from the candidates' websites and in media outlets, as well as the candidates' publicly available funding disclosures. She says she also consults with radical organizers that she trusts. Candidates are judged based on the overall progressive nature of their platform. I know we don't love that word, and we're looking for a different one, but we all know what she means, which varies for federal and state races. Metrics that all non-judicial candidates are being judged upon include. So these are the non-judges that she. These are the metrics that she bases these people on. The non-judges. Support for a free Palestine and BDS, support for Medicare for all, stance on workers' rights and unions, support for canceling student loan debt, progressive policies on housing justice, especially just cause for evictions, support for universal basic income, endorsements from meaningful progressives, progressive positions on climate change, progressive positions on radical justice and defunding, abolishing police and prisons, support for decriminalizing sex work, support for trans people, intersex, and the broader LGBTQIA community, support for addressing gerrymandering and voter suppression, stance on term limits, woo! Being pro-choice, which I think is kind of obvious, and more depending on the individual races. So those are what she bases her choices on. So if those are things that are important to you, this is a guide that you want to consider when you're making your choices. Judicial candidates that she evaluates are on the following criteria. 1, is the judge a cop? 2, is this judge sketchy, suspicious, or have they done bad, controversial things in the past? 3, is this judge a dumbass?
Wait, dumbasses can be judges?
Yeah.
And here's the list for all the judicial retention candidates that she's got there.
Yeah. And then 4, do the Bar Association think this judge is qualified? She does, in fact, utilize the Injustice Watch. So if you want to switch over to that guide, whomever is controlling the board, this is another guide specifically for the judges. And Stephanie Scora, I think I got her name right that time, goes through this Injustice Watch guide.
Oh, yeah, I've got that link. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I think you do.
I did have it up. I was
looking for her. So this was a really cool guide. I clicked through it. This is my first time seeing this guide. And I thought it was really neat. And for some audiences, particularly if you want to print something out and bring it with you to your voting booth, this like caters to that. So you can fill in all your choices based on all the information. They do not tell you who to vote for. Like in Girl, I Guess, she says, like, you should vote for these people. This one doesn't do that as much as it just gives you the information that you need in order to make a choice for yourself. So this is a very cool guide as well, and it's interactive. So play around with it if you are in the world of using voter guides, like I am, because I just find I personally would rather do all my learning at home and know what I'm going to the voting booth with. It saves time and it makes me feel at ease and at peace with who I'm voting for. So those are the guides we recommend, and those are in the show notes. And then we're going to talk a little bit about funding elections as well. But before we move on, in regards to the guides that we're suggesting, do you guys have anything you want to share?
Just real quick, the link I posted earlier for chicagoelections.gov, where you can find out where your polling places are. You can also, I believe, download a sample ballot, which hopefully has all the information, at least the basic information, so that you can research on who you want to vote for. Because, yeah, it's a pain if you're standing in the voting booth and you spend 3 hours in there trying to figure out which judges you got to kick from the bench.
Dude, that's me on my cell phone. Before I discovered these guides. Now I have the hyperlinks on my phone before I go in there, so I can like look at it on my phone if I haven't printed them out. Not that she's telling me. I mean, not that I'm. I mean, she recommended two really bad candidates last election. Unfortunately, they were the only ones. I think it was for maybe Cook County Treasurer Janulius.
She
and someone
will
else.
offer the lesser of two evils.
Unfortunately,
or she'll put, yeah, because
Which
she
is
says
why
that in
it's
the
a
guide.
girl,
She
I
says,
guess.
she says that like the only ones she really recommends are the ones with the golden girl, I guess, which are only 5 out of everybody on this sheet here. So,
but this is a really great resource for those of us who, go into a voting booth the way that Ed described, and we're just like, wait, I don't know who these. How do I select a judge? Where do I get this information? There's so much work to do ahead of time, and she has helped, as along with Injustice Watch here, help sort through the good and the bad. And as we said in the past, they were talking about, we've talked in the past about the issue regarding bail reform. And people thinking that, it's a bad thing because it's just going to put criminals on the streets. The judges are the ones who determine who the violent offenders are that they let out. Bail reform is an important thing because there are nonviolent criminals that can't afford bail. Yeah. This is what you want to focus on, is looking at the judge's records to determine the ones that are letting the violent offenders on the streets. That's right. Because you shouldn't punish those that can't afford bail who aren't violent, because you've got idiot judges who aren't doing their jobs right.
Yeah,
and there are violent offenders that can afford bail. So arguably the bail system cares less about how dangerous you are for society and cares more about getting their money.
That's right.
So,
and I know my strategy for the judges used to be, and sometimes if I'm in a hurry, is still vote all of them out, unless you know a specific judge that you think should stay. Yeah.
That's my husband's strategy, is he votes no for all the judges, because if they're real shit, it takes a good amount. I think it's 60% to not make it into that seat again.
Well, I'm going to say this. I hope
otherwise they stay in there by default, pretty much.
That's right.
Given that we had a 30% turnout last election, I hope the 30% that might be watching this show will pay attention to this and try to make a difference with the
look, as much as you can, have energy to deal with politics and local elections, at least focus on the things that are important to you, especially if there are things on your ballot, like ballot initiatives and things where your vote can actually make a difference in how politicians, or at least local politicians, behave regarding issues that matter to you.
Find the candidates that represent your values, even if they're not Democrat or Republican. I mean, that's how I always vote. That's why when she recommended Janulius, and I forgot who the other one was last election for treasurer, there was a a third-party candidate. I didn't know a whole lot about him, but I'm like, fuck it. I'm not voting for Janulius or this other woman who I'm forgetting her name, but I voted for the third-party guy I knew nothing about, but it's just like, I'm not going to, because I don't agree with the values of these other two people. I don't want to feel like I'm holding my nose and forced to vote for one or the other.
And I know it's too late this election, but if you are going to be running locally, consider listing yourself independent on the Volcano Party ticket. It sends a message that look, we've had enough.
Yeah, this two-party system is a load of bullshit, and so the more people we have that are willing to take a step outside of it and just say, you know what, I don't associate with either of these parties, the more we'll actually start to get an opportunity to make a choice during our elections. Because now we have, I mean, the fact that there are all of these candidates on this fucking piece of paper, and this woman is like 5 girl, I guesses, like, that's shitty.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
That's right.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
I love Pat's comment here. Irony.
How the hell are the sex? What did we say to draw out the sex?
Yeah, I don't know why the sex. Oh, we were talking about dicks earlier.
Yeah, that's what it was.
They were just late to the party.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how the algorithms? Yeah, don't say it again. How these algorithms draw them out.
Parties with sex is
I beg your pardon. What did you say?
It's interesting how the algorithms allow them to infiltrate our broadcasts while they regularly censor things and strike us for things that don't violate any rules.
I know.
Jerry, they have some rigid community standards, porn bots are part of the community.
Have you noticed in your Facebook feeds, not to go out just really quickly, I am seeing sex ads on Facebook, and it blows me away because that's what she said. Because it's like, you think with all of the algorithms that they have to censor and shut other people down who really aren't violating any of their quote unquote community standards, this stuff gets through all the time. And
is it sex toys?
No, literally, Kira, I am seeing like people engaged in sexual acts like you're on Pornhub.
No,
I'm not kidding you. I've taken some screen grabs. I'll share with you. I can't share here, but I'm shocked because I'm just like, Facebook is supposed to have safeguards in place. They will so I'm subscribed to Second City Television, their group on Facebook. Okay, SCTV, great old comedy show from the past. I don't know. I don't think the person who created that group is circulating that stuff, but they routinely pop up there. So I think maybe their group is hacked. But the fact that they're even up there for any amount of time to show up in my Facebook stream blows me away, when in an instant, we were talking about the Highland Park, months ago, and they struck our broadcast from Facebook. We were talking about a news story. Their algorithms knocked us out for reporting a legitimate news story, but they're not catching that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Well, Miguel, we got to use every social media platform we have to get the word out, because right now we got 8 people watching, and we got to try to figure out how to draw.
We got to build that audience. We got to build that audience. And also, Miguel, I'm a middle-aged fucking mom in the suburbs. I use fucking Facebook. Let's all get over it. Okay.
Yeah. We use all of them though. I mean, we check out. I mean, I've got Instagram, I've got Twitter, I've got Facebook.
Yeah. Facebook, I'm only on because they force you to do a personal page if you have a business page. Instagram, I only have my business.
Well, I'm on LinkedIn also,
other social media,
which I rarely use because I've got such a big mouth on Facebook. But the whole point of Facebook is, look, at one time it was valuable because you could reconnect with your friends from high school, college, everybody spread out all over the place. That I saw was the value of Facebook. I lost touch with a lot of people that I reconnected with.
Agreed,
but now it's become the arbiter of social media as far as like driving political discussions, addressing, culture wars, societal, this, that. That wasn't what it was meant for. But now
it's extremely difficult to talk any kind of politics or
Yeah.
any kind of anything about social change, anti-war stuff. It's really it's boiled down to now is just keeping in touch with friends and family
Yeah.
and posting, food porn and family get-together photos. So, I mean, I guess that part is okay.
Yeah.
Well,
because we know there are a lot of people there, we also do live stream the show there as we do on Twitter for those that don't find us on YouTube. And did you guys notice I was able to share our Rockfin links on Twitter tonight to hopefully try to housebreak our viewers to go, oh, I have to open up Rockfin and see if we got any super chats there. But anyway.
Yeah, let's do that.
We do not.
We don't. All right. Well, thanks for checking, Ed.
Damn. All right. Well, we need to talk about dicks more, probably, is what it is. All right. So let's talk a little bit about campaign financing, however, shall we?
Yeah.
So as far as the elections are concerned, the Democrats are carried largely, no pun intended, by Governor J.B. Pritzker. Sorry.
Kira, I have to say it, I'm not surprised he had to address the elephant in the room.
We don't body shame here, Mr. Vasilatos.
Addressing the elephant in the room.
Oh, you're talking about political elephant.
Yeah. I wasn't talking about, that's Republicans. You're thinking of donkeys. Jackasses.
All right. So anyway, back to the story, you guys. Get it together. All right. So Pritzker is basically carrying the Democratic Party of Illinois. His campaign committee had more than $27 million in expenditures from April through June 30th, that quarter. More than $2.5 million was transferred to Democrats throughout the state, including three $500,000 contributions that were funneled through the Democratic Party of Illinois. So I actually have something I'd like to share here. So I'm gonna bring that up and share with you. So I just went to because Open Secrets doesn't really share with like present day campaign funding, like up to date. Unfortunately, this compiles all of the races for public office. But this is for J.B. Pritzker. But if you look here, this is pretty incredible because we're going to be looking at a few of these tonight here. But if you look at all of the like the spending and the contributions, not the lobbying, the contributions, you see like candidate contributions here, right? And then all of these other contributors in comparison. So this is, and I don't think anybody is surprised, very much how Pritzker is funding not only his campaign, but many of the candidates down the ticket. Undressing elephants. What the fuck kind of show is this?
Elephants don't wear clothes. What are you talking about, Warren?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're into, really. This.
Oh my goodness. My goodness gracious me.
I know. I'm making everybody blush tonight. So this is a prime example of how our system is a pay-to-play system, which we all already know. It's just the perfect example of it. And there's no cap to personal expenditures to a campaign. And what else is really interesting that I just learned today, that if in Illinois, if a campaign is self-funded to the tune of $250,000 or more, their opponent is exempted from campaign contribution limits as well. So when you fund your own campaign, you open the floodgates for your opponent to be able to basically take unlimited funding as well. So hot off the presses this week, not super hot. I mean, it's kind of lukewarm at this point. Richard Uline, the CEO of Uline, a product distribution company, threw in another nearly $14 million to defeat. God, that's so much fucking money.
Kira,
Does anybody
they're the largest provider and manufacturer of packaging and boxes, and I'm sad to say I have to rely on purchasing from them because they're right over the border in Wisconsin, and I've got my business where I'm shipping in, product to customers all the time. There's nowhere else to get stuff from, and it drives me nuts that I've got to use them because I don't know where else to get my expendable packaging supplies from.
Check
and the fact that
Granger.
You
could check Granger. Sometimes the restaurant supply places will have what you
can't
need.
get stuff fast enough from them.
Yeah.
They're a monopoly. They dominate. Yeah, they dominate.
That's what's painful about a lot of this stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about Amazon later, right? And I am staunchly anti-Amazon, and now I'm trying to self-publish a book, and I'm like, well, motherfucker, like, how do I avoid Amazon? And I think I'm actually going to successfully do it, but it has been a runaround trying to really avoid this company that I don't align with economically and morally and ethically and all of that. Oh, there it is. Hello, sex bots. All right. So this dude, Uline, nearly 14 million. He's in Lake Forest, who with his wife Elizabeth runs that Wisconsin-based Uline Products Distribution Company. And they are major donors to the conservative candidates, and not only in Illinois, but across the country. He bankrolls the PAC that's called People Who Play by the Rules PAC, which just by the name, they're full of shit, right?
You will hear, if you're in Chicago, you'll hear radio commercials and you'll see TV ads from People Who Play by the Rules PAC, and they are vile.
Really?
They're absolutely offensive. They try to pretend like they're taking the high road. In the meantime, it's blatantly obvious how much they're just trying to inflame their base.
Yeah.
They're trying. It's what do they call it? Dog whistles.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Well, I'll have to. I can't believe I didn't think to see if I could find one of their commercials, but I'll have to look into that. I just thought the name of it was a dead giveaway that they're definitely full of shit. So this spending comes as billionaire Pritzker apparently has no ceiling when it comes to his personal spending, which is what I've already said. And Uline's nearly $14 million donation on Friday is the latest in a series of contributions from him to that PAC that we're talking about.
That's a lot of money.
Wait for it, to a total of $42 million is how much he's given to this PAC.
I thought it was this.
$1 million.
A lot more than that.
42.
$42 million.
Oh, these guys, they got their own YouTube channel. So they got their
the play by the rules PAC?
Yeah.
Nice.
They got the latest one I heard was this one guy who was talking about how JB was born on third base and thinks he hit a triple. Like he thinks he's so damn original coming up with that for anybody who happens to be wealthy.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah. Like, okay, give us something.
Meanwhile, he's pushing the fake candidate on the other side. It's it's totally a Pied Piper Illinois edition.
No, absolutely.
This is such a crock of shit.
Because as we know, JB funded basically Bailey's win in the primaries.
Yeah.
So
it's like, okay, dude. I mean, if he beats you, it's your own damn fault.
It's what Hillary did with Trump.
What's really crazy about Bailey that I want to point out is that the jumbo donors, the GOP establishment jumbo donors that you usually see giving.
When you said jumbo, I thought you were talking about JB, but go ahead. Okay.
No, the GOP jumbo donors, not the one Democratic jumbo donor. But they so far have not been sending checks directly to Bailey, only to these PACs. And neither has Bailey raised any substantial cash from small donors. So Bailey's really hurting. I think he's got like $300, maybe $50,000 in his coffers right now. And his campaign is in real trouble in the world of finances, especially coming up against, someone who has as much money as JB Pritzker. And then let's go ahead, just to be fair, we'll take a look at Mr. Bailey's. Oh shit, I think I might have just swiped the screen away without any warning. His contributions received and where his money is generally coming from, but you can already see how much littler his numbers are, where 9 million from general business donations, as compared to, I think it was Pritzker's with his personal candidate contributions at 303 million previously. So keeping that in mind, and then everything else here, going down the line, seeing who is supporting this candidate, and it does not look like all that many people.
Yeah, so Bailey doesn't really have Rauner type money. Is that what we're basically seeing here? Because
yeah, Bailey is suffering financially.
Because at this point, I mean, he doesn't have enough charisma to really beat JB. And
he's
so
pissing off Chicago too, left and right, with his comments.
Yeah.
Even though he moved into the John
calling it a
Hancock
hellhole. Yeah,
yeah.
He
wants to see what Chicago's like moving here, while he just pisses everybody off with his uninformed comments.
So this is one of those situations where he's not going to pull a Donnie Shortfingers, and get an upset unless he has a huge funnel of cash coming in to help get him over the top, because it's what it is, you feed enough people information, the people who normally are the ones who will show up and vote. And if they get saturated with enough of the bad information, eventually they come to believe it.
Yeah, and and apparently Bailey is also moving away from his very strong rhetoric in regard to anti-choice beliefs, and I know, he's moving away from those comments, and it's like, goo, you already fucked yourself. And then also, I guess he shared a stage with Don Jr. and in his speech stuck to the script and did not even mention the former president's son. So he is definitely trying to create some space between him and what is, very solidly known as like who right-wingers support today and what right-wingers support today, which is anti-choice for women and I guess the Trump regime and his crazy children. I don't know. It's like, it's the craziest thing to me that people worship these people. It's wild.
Darren Bailey.
What a fucking bitch. Am I right?
I think that's the first time I wasn't uncomfortable hearing that clip.
Well, then let me let you hear it again. Darren Bailey.
What a fucking bitch. Am I right?
You are right.
Yes!
Oh, Gregory Hines, rest in peace. Love that movie.
Yeah, and then Fear and DB says the independent expenditure money is doing all the heavy lifting. Yep. And Bailey's campaign itself has been on life support since the primaries. Yeah. Awesome. So, and that is going to be an interesting one to see. Like,
it would be funny if he won.
Like a tumble and burn, right?
I mean, from a nihilistic standpoint, it would be funny if he won.
Nihilistic standpoint,
yeah, for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, let's not manifest that. Right, okay.
The nihilist in me.
I love it though.
The anarchist, the radical.
I'm here for it. Honestly, I truly am. Okay, so I had a little bit more on campaign finance, but there is a very extensive article in our show notes on some of the different industries that are giving to all kinds of different candidates, including my very own Don Harmon, who I will be voting Not 4. Well, we'll see who he's up against. I haven't even looked at the contender, if I'm being honest. So I'm guessing there's not anything to vote for in that regard. So we'll see how it all goes, and we'll keep an eye on these elections, obviously, because they are upon us. Cool.
Ed, anything happening over on Rockfin?
Oh, hey, let's see. Oh, there's some people in there. Hey, look
Awesome.
at that.
Holla!
Can you share that?
Uncle Warren's in there too. He's double chatting today. Oh, Miguel jumped over there. He says hi. I don't see any monetary donations at this point.
All right.
But the night is young.
And you're so beautiful.
And yes, and the real important thing from Miguel H, he says at least it's safe from the sex bots.
That's right.
That's a good point. Okay.
No sex bots in the Rockfin room or the champagne room.